A man accidentally kills a rare alien hand creature and ends up getting the power of infinite respawns. When he dies, time resets. He gets thrown back to yesterday. The sergeant major sent by his superiors comes to fetch him again and dumps him straight into the rookie camp. Everything that happens next feels like deja vu, as if he just went through it all a second ago. He starts suspecting he's hallucinating. The next morning, he's forced to put on his exosuit again, board a transport plane, and head to the battlefield. He realizes he can precisely predict every single word his teammates are about to say. Not exactly the kind of hallucination you'd want. Just before they land, the transport gets ambushed. He's about to warn everyone when, boom, the plane explodes. The transport is barely holding together, and the sergeant major urgently orders them to jump immediately. The others yank open their harnesses and drop like meat packages. In a pathetic bid to keep his own worthless life, he finally musters the guts to jump to who died right in front of him yesterday. He rushes over to play the hero, but ends up with a gaping hole blown through his chest. The female warrior doesn't hesitate. She rips his battery out like tearing candy from a toddler. A second later, he gets mauled by a monster and dies again. Time resets once more, back to yesterday's airport. Turns out the woman he saved is none other than the so-called goddess of war. 5 years ago, a meteor crashed into Germany, and the alien parasites on it instantly ravaged Europe. Humans were basically as useless as paper dolls. Only with the development of battle exosuits did the United Global Army finally snag its first victory at Verdun. Thanks to these new exosuits, the war goddess Rita managed to slaughter hundreds of aliens in a single day, becoming humanity's last fragile hope, nicknamed the Angel of Verdun. Tom Cruise, serving as the poster boy for the United Global Army, was purely responsible for PR and recruitment. He'd already roped in millions of young suckers to join. Tom gets sent to London's army headquarters to hype up the campaign. The general already expects this battle to be a one-way ticket to hell, with countless soldiers feeding the meat grinder, filming the first wave of the assault. Satellite images show only a few enemies on the beach. Sounds perfect for some thrilling live footage to lure more cannon fodder. Tom flat out refuses. After all, he only chose PR to avoid exactly this kind of frontline suicide. The general says he's not actually sending Tom Cruise to fight, plus there'll be hundreds of thousands of soldiers going with him as human shields. But Tom still refuses, whining that he faints at the sight of blood, can't even handle a paper cut. This cowardly clown act finally snaps the general's last nerve. He tells Tom straight up, this isn't a negotiation, it's an order. Tom, in a final pathetic move, dares to threaten the general. If forced to go, he'll expose the general in propaganda, blaming him for all the cannon fodder casualties. The general looks at him, sighs helplessly, and says, all right, you don't have to go tomorrow. Tom smugly thinks his scheme worked, but the moment he steps out, the general immediately orders his arrest. Sensing doom, Tom bolts, but he gets electroshocked by incoming guards and collapses like a dead pig. When he wakes up, his rank is stripped, and he's dumped at the frontline rookie camp. The general even issues a special order, label him as a deserter impersonating an officer, tell the sergeant major to take extra good care of him. After 2 more respawns, Tom is convinced he's actually time looping. He frantically finds the sergeant major, ranting that he's the United Army's PR major, not a deserter. He even blurts out the sergeant's hometown and name, trying to convince him to follow his advice. He claims he can save everyone in the base. Instead, he gets labelled a nutjob and is forcibly thrown back into the rookie camp. But he's not giving up yet. He accurately calls out every soldier's name and their playing cards on the spot. Just as he's about to solemnly reveal that he's from tomorrow, they gag him and drag him away. The next day on the way to battle, he desperately tries to warn them the transport will soon get attacked. Too late, again. This time he jumps first, and his landing is back to yesterday, try again. Finally, he saves Fatty successfully, then charges straight toward where the war goddess is doomed to die. On the way, he gets obliterated by his own side's truck. Instant splatter. Reset. Take out. He shows insane to get it. She stops resisting, calmly tells him, after he dies again, to come find her. Then they both get blown up together. Reset. This time he wakes up eerily calm, obediently going through the motions. During physical training, he delivered goddess Rita. Rita looks super annoyed at this random clown's intrusion, until he blurts out his respawn ability and mentions their meeting tomorrow on the battlefield. Rita's eyes suddenly light up, and she gets it immediately. She warns him to keep it a total secret, otherwise he'll be thrown into a padded room faster than he can respawn. Even if he's lucky, he's most likely going to get sliced up on an operating table as a lab rat. Rita asks, this is the only weakness these monsters have, but to actually use this power, he must die every single day, until they destroy the Omega. The doc asks if he's had any hallucinations. When the Omega starts sensing a power imbalance, it searches for him with psychic signals. When he's about to get fully locked on, it appeared at Verdun. But after she lost her power, when they finally got there, the Omega was long gone. Now Rita wants him to pinpoint the Omega's location and bring her there to kill it. But Tom? He's never even had basic combat training, so Rita's Tom in the head on the chump. After getting injured mid-fight and still trying to crawl away like a worm, Tom gets ruthlessly sent. The whole place is an enemy trap. Getting out in one piece? Yeah, good luck. They try over and over. Each time, Rita gets shredded.